Darren Williams, you have one of the top backcourts in the NBA.
No doubt, man. It'll be very interesting.
They'll work good together, and then, like I said,
but whoa, wait. We're not still known that Darren Williams is going to Brooklyn.
Oh no, they're trying to make it attractive for Darren Williams to come back.
To keep him to get him to resign.
You know, because
if they get Dwight Howard, he'll stay.
Oh yeah, if they get Dwight Howard, but let's be real. Dwight Howard effed himself in the butt.
Yeah, he did himself in.
He opted in for another year, so the Magic don't have to trade him.
No.
So all this spook and talk and
he probably won't go anywhere.
He probably won't go anywhere, until halfway through the season when we hit the All-Star break. You know what I'm saying? So we could still be talking about Dwight Howard for the next
he effed himself.
half a year.
He tried so hard to stay away from what LeBron did because of the backlash that LeBron got about the decision and about all of that. He tried to play good guy, and it's biting him.
Biting him in the butt. He's looking like he's not looking like a bad guy. He's looking like a retard. Right. You know, it looks like he's indecisive.
Well, where do you think would be the best place for Dwight Howard?
It's tough, man. Like
you got LA,
you got the Lakers wanting to make a
Brooklyn.
deal. You got Brooklyn. I've heard about the Golden State Warriors wanting to make a deal that'll include Stephen Curry.
The Celtics.
I don't know about the Celtics. I mean,
it was very light talk.
The Rondo, with
in theory. I think that's more in theory.
But there aren't a lot of teams that have the pieces to make a deal for Dwight Howard. The pieces that I would think would be attractive.
So you got to have a great backcourt to go with him.
Exactly.
That's been his problem in Orlando. Jameer Nelson is not enough. And they have rotated so many number twos on that team.
Jason
Carter, Jason Richardson. It's like all those guys are okay, but they're complementary pieces.
Well, I mean, I think the best place for Dwight Howard, to me, would be LA. Because I feel that pairing him with a guy like Kobe Bryant,
right?
You know, and the rumors I'm hearing is that they would have to give up Andrew Bynum and maybe another player. I've heard Metta World Peace in some instances. Yeah. I've heard Ramon Sessions in some instances.
Get rid of him.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my thing. Even if he does go to LA, who's going to be their point guard?
Yes,
they need a proven leader. That point guard.
They do. LA has to. They have to address that.
That's always been their weakness for the past 6, 7 years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they got rid of Derek Fisher, because Derek Fisher had a pretty good.
Because he's 75.
But even so, he still produced for OKC.
In that system.
Yeah, but I mean, he can't play 30 minutes anymore.
But his sessions are not.
Hey man, Jason Kidd.
They thought he was.
Jason Kidd, all right, still plays in NBA. He's about to get paid. Steve Nash.
Jason Kidd is better than Derek Fisher.
If he's so much better, why hasn't he won more championships?
Because of the team.
Because he played with Kobe
and Shaq. Hey, Derek Fisher, let's be real. He's made some clutch shots. He's a
great shooter.
I don't think he's one of the great players, but he's one of the great role players. You know what I'm saying, in history.
I just think specifically Derek Fisher is a great shooter. He's a set shooter. Yeah. He has his spots on the court that if he's there, it's going in. He doesn't play defense. He's not going to get back.
He can't move.
He's a great locker room presence. I think that's what people pay him for. Is his shooting and his locker room.
Well, he helped OKC. He gave him a lot of experience to a team that didn't have a lot of experience.
Now, honestly, in theory, that would be the best place for Dwight Howard in my eyes.
OKC. I mean, but who you give up?
You have to clear everybody but Durant and Westbrook. You have to clear the team.
So give up Harden, Ibaka, Perkins.
You wouldn't give up Ibaka and Perkins for Dwight Howard?
Harden, Ibaka, and Perkins?
I would.
That's interesting because if OKC did do that, and this is an organization that's not known to make huge moves, they're more of a team that wants to go through the lottery, to go through the draft.
Right, absolutely. But that's why I said in theory. But if you think about it,
and don't get me wrong, that could happen because OKC did draft a lottery pick. They drafted Perry Jones III.
They sure did.
From Baylor. All right, people thought he was a top 10 pick. This guy is talented. That's another steal in the draft.
In theory, because it's comparable to the Heat. You have Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and Dwight. The other two players on the floor don't matter. As long as they play defense, seriously. The other two players on the floor, as long as they play defense.
I mean, I feel that people really people don't realize the importance of these role players.
Right.
Because even the Heat, as great as they were, without those role players.
Oh, Shane Battier,
Mario Chalmers, Haslam, even Mike Miller in that last game.
Mike Miller and even Norris Cole.
Norris Cole even.
Right.
These role players played huge
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. Just the way Miami did it, with this theoretical scenario, Oklahoma City could do the same thing.
Definitely. You know, there's still plenty of free agents out there for anybody who has a favorite NBA team and they want somebody or they want their team to get better. Of course, Steve Nash is out there, we all know. Lamar Odom is now part of the Los Angeles Clippers.
That's going to be good.
Mo Williams gets sent to the Jazz, which makes sense of why the Jazz sent Devin Harris off. You know, Ray Allen, of course, is out there. I'm hearing Ray Allen going to Miami, the Clippers. The Clippers are making big moves.
Yeah.
Clippers are making big moves.
Because they're a player or two away.
Yeah.
Really a player because you got Blake, you got Chris Paul, and now you got Lamar Odom, who's definitely probably going to come off the bench.
Yeah.
They have a great another 6-man season because you gotta believe he's gonna have a better season than last year.
Well, I just didn't think that Dallas team was where he wanted to be.
No, he didn't want to be there at all. He hated it.
Yeah, I really think that Lamar Odom wanted to be with the LA, and I think LA wants Lamar Odom.
Chloe wanted to be with him.
Right, and now he's back in LA. So he's happy. He might be across the street, but
He's still in the same venue.
he's there.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think he'll bode well for them. So what do the Clippers need? They got Odom, they got Blake Griffin, they got Chris Paul.
The Clippers, truthfully, I think the Clippers need a two guard.
All right, now I'm about to say a scoring guard.
They need a two guard. They had Nick Young. All right, I'm hearing the Clippers going after Jamal Crawford.
Okay.
All right.
Well, don't forget Billups is coming back.
Oh yeah, they're gonna re-sign Billups, you know. But I don't think that having that two guard set, when you go to the playoffs and you have to play teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, that are running the floor, I don't think that Chauncey Billups is gonna be the best guy, you know, to have on the floor to guard a guy like Westbrook or to guard a guy like Harden. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's going to be dependent too on how well he comes back from this injury. Because Chauncey's a pretty good defender, but he's getting up there in age.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, on top of this injury, you don't know what Chauncey you're gonna get. You know he's gonna be able to shoot. But as far as the defensive side, yeah, they need. I'm trying to think who would be out there. What about like an OJ Mayo?
OJ Mayo, but see, OJ Mayo, he's looking to get paid. OJ Mayo is out trying to get
Yeah, he's trying to get a maximum type deal.
Well, he doesn't really want. Well, he would love to get. That would be awesome for him. But he wants above the mid-level exception.
Right.
So he wants more than the $5 million that most teams are going to offer.
Right.
You know, so the teams like OJ Mayo, you talk about teams that aren't in it. I mean, teams that aren't in the playoff aren't really like the Rockets, the Suns, the Hornets, teams like that. You know, want to make a run at OJ Mayo. You know, I don't think the Grizzlies are going to re-sign him.
No.
You know, I've heard some report about the Grizzlies trying to go after Ray Allen.
Ray Allen.
Yeah.
But see, my thing with Ray Allen is he's getting up there in age, and Ray Allen's defense. See, the thing is with players now, back in the day you were expected to do both. Now it's kind of like you're a great shooter, but you don't play defense. You're a great defender, but you don't score. So now you have to get these players that have alternate strengths. You have to kind of.
That's why the players who can do both.
They get paid.
They get paid so much. Look at Nicholas Batum.
Yeah.
Nicholas Batum, we might not know him that great, you know, because you know we're out here in the East Coast, but in the West Coast,
Well, he had a really good run with the Blazers.
He does, and he plays very good defense. Yeah. He's athletic. He fits the bill.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's getting a max deal from Minnesota. Minnesota's offering him, you know, $50 million. You know, over 5 years.
Minnesota's quietly building a good team.
Well, it all depends on Ricky Rubio. I'm still hearing Ricky Rubio is he doesn't feel comfortable with his injury. You know, he's still going through rehab. I think it's all gonna go down on Ricky Rubio.
Yeah, and they were trying to get Paul Gasol.
Yeah, get Paul Gasol
to help out that growth process.
I mean, that would be awesome if they can get Paul Gasol.
Yeah, because I think it's over for him in LA.
They got to get rid of one of them. I mean, LA has to get rid of either Gasol or Bynum.
They're not gonna get rid of Bynum.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think they're gonna get rid of Gasol because I think his relationship with the team has deteriorated. Like the way they dog him. Like, Kobe has jammed him up in the public many a time. I mean, specifically pointed him out for certain games, and it's like after so much of that, man, it's time for a scene change.
Well, I mean, I've heard the Rockets for Pau Gasol. You know,
they're dying to get a good big man. Since Yao, got hurt.
Ever since Yao got hurt,
they have been dying to find a big man.
There aren't a lot of teams that I can say. Well, like you said, Minnesota, mostly West Coast teams that are looking for his services. But like I said, anything can happen. Okay, there are a lot of things we haven't heard of.
Oh yeah.
That could possibly be in the mix. All right.
Oh yeah.
And before we end the segment, I also want to give a shout out to Brandon Roy for making a comeback.
I love it. I love it.
I love me some Brandon Roy.
Everybody loves Brandon Roy.
You know, I thought he was a great player. You know, it's tragic how injuries, set him off. You know, I feel bad for that whole Portland organization going through those injuries.
But you know what I heard though, and they were saying in one of the reports that Portland, the Trailblazers doctors are the ones that said that he wouldn't be able to come back. And then he went and had the surgery that Kobe had.
Yeah, the knee drainage.
The knee, yeah. And those doctors was like, I don't know what they were talking about in Portland, pretty much like, you're good. It wasn't, pretty much his injury wasn't as bad as they made it.
As they made it, yeah.
And from a business standpoint, it almost seems like Portland like, well, if we can't have you the way we want, we're going to make sure nobody has. But now
they end up, they probably ain't going to get anything out of this. He's just creative.
Yeah. And teams are dying because he's an awesome player.
Minnesota, Cleveland, Dallas, I've heard Houston too.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I think Houston would be a good place for him.
Oh, and one more thing, Roy Hibbert. That's another big time player, another big time center. You know,
on the move.
On the move, probably.
I can't believe Indiana gonna let that happen.
Portland offered him a max contract. I don't see why he wouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Unless
because they're still disappointed about the Greg Oden thing. Portland has had some disappointment, but now, and that's another thing before we switch over. Greg Oden he wants to play for the Heat, and I think that would be a good fit because on both sides, it's really not much that you have to give him because of the injury concern.
Yeah,
and it's not.
Well, one thing I can say about Greg Oden, when he did play,
he played well.
He played well. Yeah. He got boards, he blocked shots, he was playing very well.
That's what I'm saying. That would be a steal for the Heat. You could clear a lot of those warmers that you have in the Eddie Currys, the Joel Anthonys, and Dexter Pittman. You can give all those guys, and just because the Heat have about 5 or 6 power forward centers that they can't put together one game between them. Juwan Howard.
No offense to the old man.
I love Juwan Howard, but he's more a locker room presence.
Yeah.
His game, though, you see him out there. Juwan Howard will get in. He'll give you about 6 minutes. He'll give you a bucket or two. Go to the free throw line, then he's back on the bench.
Well, talking about the Heat, I'm hearing, Rashard Lewis recently got waived, and I'm hearing when he clears off waivers, he's looking at the Heat as a primary place for him to go.
I'm worried about his health.
Oh, already, yeah, Rashard Lewis.
I'm worried about his health because the Heat have. I always think of Mike Miller. They brought Mike Miller in to be a sharpshooter, and he helped in those last 2 games in the finals. But outside of that, Mike Miller was hurt the entire year.
I mean, you saw it. He looked like an old man out there.
He could barely stand up. And that's the thing with the Heat. I more want them to get somebody they can rely on. And I know with their cap issues and how much they'd be spending, I know that's an issue. But at the same time, I believe they can find somebody that can fit the bill better. And I like Rashard Lewis, but I don't know how well he's gonna perform.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, the Heat don't have to do a lot.
No.
But it'll be nice if they can get another piece.
But with them, it's all about getting that one player that's going to help for that season.
Yeah.
And they need a center that can play more than 10 minutes. And they need somebody to spell D Wade because he's getting up there.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you think that he's going to be all right with his knee? I mean, getting your knee drained is not.
Well, yeah, he had the surgery, but
he had the surgery. He's not doing the Olympics and all that stuff. So I think the biggest thing for D Wade is just rest, man.
Well, people say
he's not gonna rest. He's got Gabrielle Union.
Rest. That's rest.
That's rest to me.
I ain't resting to me, man.
You don't really gotta use your knees. You can work around that.
Oh man, you can hurt your knees real bad.
No, I'm saying you can work around it. You just gotta plan.
You gotta plan.
Let her do some work.
Let her do reverse.
Her knees look like they're in great form.
Well, before we leave the subject of basketball, though, I gotta talk about my Knicks.
Yeah, we haven't talked anything.
Nah, I really wanted to save it for last. Man. My dad is he's a little shaken. He's worried. I can understand. The Knicks might be losing Jeremy Lin. There are reports that he might go to Toronto.
Toronto has nothing.
Toronto is giving up money though. They're giving him money. And kind of like how Omer Asik got sent to the Rockets, and they call it a poison pill deal where they backload the contract.
Yeah.
That's the same thing they're trying to do with Jeremy Lin. Personally, I think that Jeremy Lin's still going to be a Knick. I think that Steve Nash is probably going to go to Toronto.
Okay.
I want the Knicks to do something. Something. All right, I haven't seen it yet.
They're gonna do something. They're gonna lose all year long.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think the Knicks are as bad as people suggest, or as my father here is suggesting.
Well, they threw together their team so fast.
Well, I think.